This trip we visit the birthplace of the world's largest mining company, BHP. Broken Hill is a unique part of the Australian culture and it is located in Outback Australia. Its 17,500 population is only a remnant of its past peak of 35,000 in 1920. Its wealth is seen in the buildings of the past and a rich culture of outback artists. In this video we will visit the original mine that overlooks the city and the Miners' Memorial. We'll share a few highlights of the city walking tour, a must-do if you want to understand the history and culture of Broken Hill. We will look at some of the mining structures, a quick look at the Mineral Museum and the Retro Milk Bar. We'll also visit some of the art centres including the Mad Max Museum at Silverton and finish with the Flying Doctors Museum. A short drive from the centre of town takes you up on top of the old slag heaps and past the old mines. Broken Hill has continued to mine since BHP was established here in 1885. It is here that the world's richest silver, lead and zinc ore body would be found, generating over 100 billion in wealth. The Miners' Memorial is a striking contemporary piece of architecture with views over the city and adds an emotional weight to the list of more than 800 miners who lost their lives on the job. There are a number of mining structures around Broken Hill that remind us of the past. Unfortunately, you are no longer able to visit any mines in Broken Hill. However, 28 kilometres out of town you can visit the Daydream mine. The tour is worth doing. You descend deep into the mine where you will see the working conditions of those miners from long ago. The miners worked a 12-hour day, 6 days a week. Miners' lives were short. My great-grandfather worked in the original mine and died in his mid-50s. Today mining is still happening in Broken Hill, its largest industry of the town. In Broken Hill City, mining had the largest total exports by industry in 2021-22, generating $83 million. The Broken Hill Heritage Walk Tour is a 2-hour volunteer-guided tour through Broken Hill CBD. It's a must-do if you want to learn the history and culture of this unique town, the only city in Australia that is totally heritage listed. Tours depart from the Visitors Information Centre at 10 a.m. I recommend that you book.
The method of mining in those days, they'd put down a shaft and then they would put out a drive. So you had the shaft and then drives would go out to the ore body and you'd line that get back in to the shaft. You can see some grippers. So if the cage ever dropped, these grippers would come out at the side and hopefully stop the cage from falling. You notice the visual landscape of Broken Hill. There were lots of pubs. There were pubs on practically every corner there. But what the men earned was no business of the women. They would get the housekeeping but a lot of times they'd come down with their paint on the mining road. Being a working man's paradise, with drinking culture and gambling culture as well. So a lot of times the women were left with nothing. By the time they got home, there was no money left. So they formed this, I think the well-to-do ladies might have formed this to help other people. If a woman come in and said, you know, I've got nothing, I'm desperate, he's gambled or drank all our money, they would go down to the union office or go to the mine and they had the power to garnish the men's wages, so that housekeeping was taken out and given to the woman before that he was able to do it. Enterprise bargaining and industrial agreements were developed in Broken Hill. Every 3 years, the companies would talk to the unions, and an agreement on conditions and wages was developed, and that went for 3 years. When the heyday of Broken Hill, probably in about the 50s and 60s, they did a lot for the people of the town. So they would build housing and then sell it back cheaply to the people, and they'd had a camp down in South Australia at Largs Bay, which was a zinc camp, and their employees, they'd shut down over Christmas time each year for 4 weeks, and the employees would hop on those trains that I showed you, and they would take them down to the camp, and it would be set up. They'd have cottage tents and all set up for them. They'd have mess halls, and they'd take the kids on excursions, and the men would have excursions.
The City Mint and Art Centre is a vibrant venue offering paintings, sculptures, chocolates, jewellery, and a large panorama painting of the Outback. The Big Picture is the world's largest acrylic painting by a single artist, and it's housed in the City Mint and Art Centre. The artist Ando took over 2 years to complete it. Pretty good for a self-taught artist. Art is big in Broken Hill. There are more art galleries than pubs. Outback scenes and mining are the dominant themes. The region's thriving art scene owes a lot to the Brushmen of the Bush, Jack Absel and Pro Hart, Hugh Schultz, John Pickup and Eric Minchin. In 1973 they formed a group based on sharing their love for painting the Australian outback, and they exhibited their artwork all over the world for the next 25 years. The group raised over $1 million for charities including the Royal Flying Doctors Service. While in Broken Hill, you should visit the Pro Hart studio. Here you'll see many of his paintings. You'll actually see the studio where he painted, that he left when he passed. Worth a visit. White's Mineral Art and Mining Museum is the perfect place to discover the mining history of Broken Hill. The museum is a simulated mine constructed using period-correct mining timber and has numerous mining implements and dioramas showing mining operations. Here we see mineral artworks done by the famous Broken Hill artist Kevin Bushy White depicting mining scenes and Broken Hill buildings. This is certainly a unique museum. The Albert Kirsten Mining and Mineral Museum represents the extensive mineral history of Broken Hill. The museum has an extensive collection of minerals including the famous 42-kilo silver nugget. Also a must-see is the silver tree. The silver tree is made from 8.5 kilos of silver and was once owned by Charles Rasp, the boundary rider who pegged out the first Broken Hill mining lease with his partners. The museum is open Tuesday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Sulphide Street Railway and Historical Museum is certainly worth a visit. As you walk into the train station, you step back in time when Rail was the king. As you stroll through the station master's office and ticketing area, you can imagine this was a very busy place. Once through to the platform, you are greeted by a most interesting contraption, a Dodge rail car. The car was imported from the USA in 1938 and converted in Adelaide. Its role was to check railway lines and, on occasions, rescue people. At the museum you can hop aboard old trains and discover all sorts of memorabilia that will give you insights into how the tramway system operated for nearly 100 years as it transported loads of silver, lead and zinc out of town, destined for ports all over the planet. From 1888, the Silverton tramway system took ore from the mines to the border with South Australia, from where it would go to Port Pirie. It stopped running in 1970, but lives on at this fascinating museum housed in the city's original 1905 station. The Silver City Comet is a unique train and was a service operated from 1937 until 1989 between Parkes and Broken Hill in western New South Wales. It was the first air-conditioned train in Australia. The original engines were built in Belfast. In addition to railway displays, the museum has minerals, social history, hospital equipment, a carousel and various vehicles. It is an excellent collection of history of Broken Hill. Touring Broken Hill can be thirsty business. One of the best places to quench that thirst is at Bell's Milk Bar. Bell's Milk Bar remains ultra true to its origins and is like stepping into a 1950s time capsule. Tracing its heritage to 1892, it is filled with the magazines, menus and music of its heyday, but you can still score a single or espresso should you wish. Well worth a visit. While in Broken Hill, you should take the opportunity to visit one of Australia's iconic outback stories, the Royal Flying Doctor's Service. Here you can enjoy a heritage experience of this amazing institution. Explore firsthand the resilience, the resourcefulness and the ingenuity of the Flying Doctors. Go behind the scenes with the guided tour, see the operations centre, enter the aircraft hangar and explore the interactive museum.
So this tells us we have 79 aircraft and 180 road vehicles in Australia, and it's down here. And it's only got a wooden frame, it's covered in aluminium, and the flaps are just painted canvas. Now, if you be real gentle with it, if you haven't really feel it, that's you have a few. Canvas, and that's the aluminium up the top.
Wow.
Doesn't exactly fill you with a great
Right.
confidence. You should not be blocking the doorway, but you can put your head in and have a look. We actually have a 6-foot thick flight that tells anybody who spends all day looking around like this.
Silverton is a small village at the far west of New South Wales, 26 kilometres northwest of Broken Hill. Silverton was established around 1880. The mining industry boomed and so did the population. Within a couple of years it had grown to about 3,000. It had 10 pubs, church, hospital, a jail and even a stock exchange. It wasn't long, however, before the discovery in Broken Hill saw Silverton's decline. Silverton's museum, pub and art galleries are worth a visit. However, the big draw card is the Mad Max Museum. Adrian Bennett arrived here as an Englishman, became a fan of the film. As a youngster, he visited in 2004 and vowed to come back and open a museum, which he did in 2010. On our last visit in 2022, a new Mad Max film was being made. I hope you enjoyed our visit to Broken Hill. If you'd give us a like and subscribe, that would be much appreciated. See you next time.